They say as paramedics, your most important time is your downtime. What do you do when you're not at work? Because that keeps us healthy.
For Netta LaFuente, these everyday moments with her family are not only precious, but necessary.
Eat your food. If we have a healthy life outside of work, then we can maintain a healthy life at work. District 5 received.
She has been working as an EMT for almost 20 years. Now a field commander in the Austin-Travis County Emergency Medical Services Unit. On the front lines, responding to COVID-19 calls. And behind the scenes, volunteering as a team leader in the department's peer support group. For medics like Netta, the group is a vital way to process the traumatic situations they encounter so often on the job. Its goal, destigmatizing the mental health crises they so often face.
As a leader, my job is to serve. Not only the patients, but now my responsibility is to serve my paramedics and my medics. So I just focus on one task at a time.
When it's 7:30 in the morning and you're rushing out the door saying bye to your husband and your kiddo, and what do you think about most in those moments when you're about to start your day?
I think about making sure that my day is as safe as possible so that I can come back.
Her fears are more than valid. In Austin, more than 50,000 COVID-19 cases have been reported.
Doffing is the most dangerous part. That's where you could infect yourself. We used to have these really elaborate zip-up suits, and when you took those off, that's higher risk than the gown.
You had multiple layers of gloves on, yes, and face protection.
Yes, so we wear that face shield in case we're going to do any aerosolizing treatments. And since this patient was a COVID positive and there was a possibility we had to give her a neb or put her on any sort of assist her in ventilation, though she's COVID positive and has an extensive history, she's stable right now.
So her and the other medics' work is twofold, caring for others and making sure they care for themselves.
It's hard as a medic to kind of look at yourself and say, hey, you know, I need help. We kind of go to the extreme and then we realize that, you know, our limb is broken and we need to get help too.
EMS is one of the most fulfilling jobs that you can absolutely do. You know, in full transparency, it's a profession that really does kind of tear at you.
All right, on 3.
Daniel Owens and his partner Andre are also Austin-Travis County EMTs. They've been running emergency service since before the pandemic began, and together they have seen it all.
We were dealing with COVID in March, picking up extra shifts. I have an amazing wife named Jessica, and I also have 2 boys, ages 6 and 4, who are an absolute joy to be around.
Last March, Daniel made the difficult decision to live away from his family in order to keep them safe.
It's when Jessica and the kids left, and we decided we'd just ride out, 2 or 3 weeks until things kind of got under control. Things never got under control.
This is the boys' room. I am really missing them tonight. If you want to feel like $1 million after you have just a horrible, cruddy shift, come home to 2 boys who think that you're just the man who hung the moon, or if you just think that you're an absolute hero.
Underneath the sheer exhaustion of the job and all the stress that goes with it, there lies something rarely discussed: trauma.
We can't call 911 because we are 911. There's no backup.
Just really hard running these calls. We're just hoping for 2 or 3 hours and just get some sleep, and then it just doesn't happen.
We have created this false machismo. If you start having cumulative stress, it's because you are weak. For most medics in the profession, it's going to come at a great cost.
In 2015, 2 of his medics died by suicide. In response, the department launched the Peer Support Program, one of several initiatives focusing on mental health and wellness. Dr. Tanya Glenn specializes in treating severe stress and trauma. She's worked with first responders in the aftermath of the Oklahoma City bombing, 9/11, and Hurricane Katrina. She launched the Paramedic Peer Support Program in Austin and several other states in order to break the stigma associated with trauma. You have to break the silence around it.
First responders will not go to therapy if there's a paper trail, if there's a diagnosis attached to their name. So I proposed this program to put my practice on a separate contract with the specialty of dealing with first responder issues, and that I would submit an invoice once a month with no names on the invoice.
People want to stay anonymous because there is that fear that somebody is going to hold your struggles against you in a professional setting. What a peer support team does, it creates this bubble of trust, because it's someone who works in the same profession as you. It's someone who is not going to go on an administrative tear and try to take away your job.
At a point in Netta's career, she experienced symptoms of PTSD. She says she was able to better cope with the compounded stress and trauma after talking to Dr. Glenn.
Have you ever experienced PTSD from a call? Or
When my son was born, something turned on inside of me where I was constantly anxious and looking for things that may happen. I've been on lots of calls where the baby died because the parents slept while they were holding their baby. And then whoever wanted to hold my baby, I would watch them. I couldn't get my eyes off them because I was afraid they'll fall asleep even though it was broad daylight.
So how did you cope?
I started asking my family and my peers, like, is this normal? Because I'm a first-time mom. To bring it to my attention, you know, they said, out of the 1,000 times that somebody does something, you see that one time where it went wrong.
Post-traumatic stress disorder is when an individual is exposed to a stress trauma so extreme, it's beyond their human coping capacity.
Usually when we think of PTSD, we think of soldiers.
Right.
But anyone can suffer from PTSD, right?
Yes, sir.
Netta has an additional layer of stress. She's one of the very few women leading a team in a field traditionally dominated by men.
Statistically, being a woman and being a woman of color, I'm outnumbered. As a woman, you know, your voice has to be a little stronger and you have to have a little bit more of a presence to get that attention. And it's not just from our department, it's society in general. An elderly patient that his wife is COVID positive. I did get great news. I'm pregnant. Now where's the baby's heartbeat?
A little flicker right there.
Oh yeah. We just finished the ultrasound. Everything looks great. I'm so excited.
For Netta and her fellow frontline heroes, success is not just measured by how many lives they save, but how they maintain their own.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.